We're live, and you're muted. Hi, Donna.
Do it.
Russ, it's the little microphone. There you go.
Mine is still going through that stupid thing of I'm now at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Silly human race.
And now it restarted all over again.
Yesterday's a morning came, a smile upon your face, Caesar's palace, morning glory. Silly human race. Silly human.
I am beginning to really hate computers. I mean, just hate them.
On a sailing ship to nowhere, leaving any place. If the summer changed to winter, yours is no disgrace.
I've had enough of that crap.
Poetry by Kilroy.
So anyway, welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. The stupid thing, the countdown, I might quit using it. It gets into this stupid loop on my computer and it just won't quit. So I don't know what's going on with it. That time I would think I was able to turn it off. So I'll try it maybe a couple more. I'm about ready to get rid of it. But welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. I guess we're live in a few other places.
And muted.
And you were muted because I got tired of hearing that stupid poem.
Oh, good Lord.
It's like Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece is white as snow until I shot it with my 22, and now it's red and glows.
What lyrics was I
quoting? Do you have a little dough? Yeah, $2.
Yeah.
Chris Nealon said there was once a man from Nantucket.
Oh man. Let's don't go there.
This
please.
could spiral dangerously out of control here if we don't.
That's why I said let's don't go there, please. I'd hate to have to kick you out.
Family show.
Yeah, I hate to have
There
to
would be a
out,
disgrace then.
But welcome to the show. I'll try to mess with that thing again and see if it works. But it's got a little button on there where you clip loop, but it's not looped. I mean, I don't have my stupid phone with me. I don't have it looped, so I don't know why it keeps looping over and over. But tonight we're going to talk about different brands of scroll saws. I left my notes in there, but I think I can remember. But the different brands, because there are a lot of different brands. The first one that comes to mind is the Harbor Freight brand, the General Machinery or General, whatever they call it.
Yeah, General Machines.
Years ago, when I first started my show, I had somebody that came on the show and said, "Oh yeah, I just bought the Harbor Freight brand. What do you think about that?" And I said, "It makes a good boat anchor." So they actually got offended, and I don't think they ever came back and watched the show anymore. But it is what it is. But before we get into all that, thank you for being here tonight. If you haven't already, you can subscribe. I appreciate it. Hit the little bell up at the top, and that'll notify you when I do a live show or a video. And then don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Always like the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Russ, have you done a video lately?
No.
I should not be talking. I'm just asking.
I haven't been in my shop in. Well, I go in there. I take that back. I go in my shop all the time. I haven't done any woodworking, like physically made anything in my shop in probably 4 months.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, ever since I started working on that trailer, turning it into a camper, like pretty well, that's it. I mean, I go in there to use the saw, go in there to use the router, I go in there to use different tools, but it's all for making stuff for my camper. So anyway, before we go any further, develop technologies for web design, development, hosting. Visit Devol.com. FastCap, innovative product for the professional woodwork. Go to fastcap.com. Rockler, 60 years in woodworking, create confidence. Visit rockler.com. Bearwood Supply Company, your best choice for hard to find woodworking supplies. Go to bearwood.com. King's for the sanding specialist, woodworkingshop.com, and Seiko, the scroll saw specialist, Seiko.com. And we'll start off with Paul. He's the first one. Where can we find you, Mr. Paul?
Well, if my internet works well tonight, you can find me here. If it doesn't, I don't know what to tell you. But you can also find me on YouTube. I got a new video out there about making my bookcase. It's Paul's Messy Workshop on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
And you can find me on Instagram, and you can find me watching Al's show on Sundays at 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. And
I gotta set that as a
about it.
reminder on my. I gotta set that as a reminder on my phone because I keep forgetting about it. Yeah, ever since they started that crap about kneeling and not wanting to play the national anthem on football, NFL, I quit watching football. So I got plenty of time. I got plenty of time to watch Al if Al would just call me and remind me.
Okay, I shall.
So,
and you won't have to kneel at all.
No, I won't have to kneel. No, I'm serious. So it's just once that crap started, I was just
no
like,
politics, no religion.
I know it's just that's it. That's enough of me. I don't need to watch it anymore. So.
Silly human race.
Yep. A bunch of stupid people, and I'm one of them.
I'm there too.
Okay, Al, tell us where we can find you.
Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop. I do it just for fun. Sometimes I do good stuff. Sometimes I do bad. I cut a circle and went through it, and look what happened. the CNC chewed it, but it's still okay. Anyway,
it'll just go around it a few more times, and it'll be just a little smaller than
what
it's supposed to be.
What's funny is it actually should be a quarter of an inch smaller. I don't know if you can see it, but see, it should be quarter of an inch smaller. But anyway, Kilroy 79763 all over the place. Great to be here, just for fun.
Yes, Donald.
I'm Donald Matthews. I'm on YouTube, Donald Lazafi's Wood Shop. I've got a website, redneckknowhow.com, and I'm also on Facebook and Twitter and all that good stuff.
Jim.
Jim Bashir from Driveway Workshop. I just wanted to let everybody know that it's 25 days until the sunlight starts to come back again. So that's a good thing. And I spent the day out in the shop today because it was 50 degrees here in Chicago. So started making
I bet you that felt good.
some toys for the grandkids. God, yeah. I had to take this sweatshirt off. Outside the t-shirt.
Yeah,
it was nice.
We don't get that cold here in Florida, so what I do is, it just I'm just a little cold, so I got some really long sleeve t-shirts. That's all they are, just long sleeve t-shirts, and that's all I wear, and that's just plenty enough to keep me warm.
Yeah.
So, Chris.
Again, Chris here at the Old Cranky Workshop. Let's see. I'm not that far from Russ, and I'm not jumping into long sleeve shirts. It's not that cold. So
no, it's not yet. No, I didn't say it was yet.
But anyways,
although
in the works about my pull toys. So hopefully I get that done in the next few weeks and get that out. You can find me on YouTube and Facebook. That's about it. I'm dropping my Twitter because I can't keep up with it anyways. So that's it.
Cool. And Donna.
Donna Presley. Find me Donna's Wooden Art, Donna's Embroidery Plus, Facebook, or YouTube. I got it both. Other than that, you'll find me at home for a while because it's just cold.
Cool.
One quick thing, Russ. So let anybody
Yes.
know, it's 111 days till St. Patrick's Day,
111 days. Same.
and I take a size 12 pack in Guinness.
Oh,
Okay, so
still got-
it's
you
Where's
still got
your
that
clock?
countdown going, Chris?
Absolutely.
It's
Checked
a
it right
perpetual-
before we
29.
got here.
so it's officially 29 days before Christmas.
Where's your countdown clock?
It's out in the shop.
right next to the beer
Oh.
fridge, right?
Well, no, over the desk. Beer fridge is in the side of the room. So
Okay. Within arm's reach of the beer fridge.
absolutely. So
Absolutely.
Anyway, it's officially, you didn't hear me, it's officially 29 days to Christmas. So
plenty of time.
Yes.
29.
whenever the Santa comes to visit, you know. So I'm trying a
Ooh.
new thing. I'm getting I swear I'm only going to talk about this for just a couple of minutes. First off, I've lost my woodworking. I call them my woodworking glasses. I've got this pair here. I can't find them. I don't know where the heck I laid them. So I can use reading glasses, but it's a pain because the black glasses that I had, the lens was designed for the computer screen, and then the bottom was designed for me to woodworking. And I laid them down. I've searched everywhere. I can't find them. I have no clue as to where the heck I put them. So I guess I'll call the doctor Monday and see about getting another pair of glasses. That's a good $300 or $400.
Yeah, at least.
So, and then plus I'm having a little problem with my hearing. I got a scheduled appointment to check my hearing. Actually, I'm wearing earbuds tonight because it's getting harder for me to hear. So I might have to go to hearing aids. With the knee injury and everything, I'm
do it
just
this week?
falling apart. I'm just falling apart. Do what, Jim?
Can I do a reveal from something that happened to me this week?
Ooh.
Sure. Go ahead.
You're going to solo.
Check 'em out.
solo them in.
Oh,
Get
you.
some.
Yep. See.
Got to get them, man.
I've
They're
got 'em.
great. You would not believe how much you're not hearing.
Cochlear
Well,
implants? Did he just rip it out of?
Well,
No.
Look what I got.
No.
it's amazing how much you don't hear.
You know.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. I'm
the
gonna have.
beeping- That's the beeping that I've been hearing. That.
It might be interfering with this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know
anyway,
what voice code-
we didn't have any. I asked 2 or 3 people to be on the show. As of right now, nobody said. I mean, this time of year is going to be hard to find anybody.
Right.
I've asked 2 or 3 people. I was trying to get a hold of Steve Good, Shaylee T. Morehouse, which is, she scrolls. I figured she'd be good to have on tonight.
Midnight
She's
Scroller,
her
yeah.
company. Yep, she's still got company, so she couldn't do it. But then I thought about we haven't talked about this in a long time. Let's talk about the brands and the differences in the brands, because anybody that sits there and tells me that the Harbor Freight is equivalent to the RBI Hawk or the Pegasus or the Seiko, I'm sorry, but you're a whole bunch of nuts shy of a full basket, because they're not the same. What you're doing is you're comparing, and you can't sit here and tell me that too. You're comparing like a Mercedes Benz to an old Volts VW Bug when they first came out back. You remember the old VW Bugs?
I'll take the bug.
I would too, in all sincerity. But I mean, they have 4 tires, they have brakes, and they'll get you back and forth. But you can't tell me that there ain't a difference, because there's a big difference if you drive each one. And I've driven a Mercedes Benz before, and it's a totally different drive from any other car you've ever driven. Trust me, it's nice. So there are a lot of differences. And I'm not trying to sit here and tell you can't take a cheaper scroll saw, because I've heard of people buying a Harbor Freight and using it and making it some great things. But I got news for you. If they ever try a nice scroll saw, they'll see all the difference in the world, and they'll beat their head on the table figuring out why in the heck they didn't change sooner. So there's a difference, a big difference. So,
Well, and some
cheap-
that's all that they can afford, and that's all they have, and that's
it is,
that's
it is,
great,
and if it is that I totally understand, and I'm not downing you, but my point being is, I would suggest this: start saving your money. Like, let's say you make a bunch of pieces and you're selling them, and you're doing pretty good. Start saving some of your money and get a better scroll saw. Because once you I didn't think I used to have that Craftsman, and I love my Craftsman, and I finally got around to getting a DeWalt years ago, and oh my God, the difference was like night and day just between those two. And it's not only that. I had a table that was probably 8 or 10 inches at the most in diameter. I went to that huge table on a DeWalt, big difference. So there's a lot of differences in them. You got your cheapers, your Harbor Freight. Actually, a Dremel is one of the cheaper ones, but I have heard numerous people, including Steve Good, say that of the cheaper scroll skulls, that one was pretty doggone good. It didn't have the vibration that the others had, and it seemed to work a lot better. Yeah.
The actual
you like it?
Scroll saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple of pieces missing, which I'm pretty sure I could figure my way around that, but I'm not much of a scroll sawer, so.
Yeah. Have you made something with it?
Yeah, I did one of your scroll saw challenges with it.
All right. So how about the vibration?
I didn't notice any vibration.
Yeah. See? So that's one of the ones that you could make an upgrade to that's really not going to break the bank. So that should be pretty good.
Now, I have no doubt that if I tried a DeWalt, it'd be a world of difference. But
yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. You're going to see a difference.
But
the Dremel was one of those.
When come up with a new scroll saw?
I think Wynn did too. I haven't heard anybody say that they have tried it or whatever.
Wynn is overall rated by buyersguide.org as number 1, believe it or not. And then
really, I know this much. I haven't had one, but I know a couple of people that have some Wynn products, and I've used them just playing around with them, and I was impressed. Not the scroll saw now, but the other product. They have the sander, the brown sander. What do you call the name? What's the name of it?
The drum sander?
Yeah, the drum sander, oscillating drum sander. Yeah, the oscillating drum sander. And I have a Harbor Freight oscillating drum sander, and it was every bit as good as my Harbor Freight, and it worked great. So.
Yeah,
it's funny. I just
upgraded their air sander. I have their dust.
Go, Paul.
I've got their drill press, tabletop drill press, and I really like it.
The answer is no, Paul. The internet's not any better today.
Yeah, you're still breaking up.
Just kind of.
People aren't talking over you. You'll start to say something and freeze up.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have what? Since you're working on,
I love it.
Yeah.
I have.
What do you have?
One of their air filters in my workshop. The overhead air filter.
Oh yeah. Actually, that's one of the cheaper ones as far as price wise, but I heard it works great. I mean, come on. What can it be? A fan, a squirrel cage, and a stupid filter? I mean, it ain't take a rocket scientist to make one of those, so I'm sure it works as good as the others. So, go ahead.
The first scroll saw I had was a coworker gave it to me. As she said it, her dad said it fell off a truck. So it was all Chinese writing on the box, all Chinese writing in the manual. Wasn't a word of English anywhere to be found. So it's clearly targeted to go to Harbor Freight early on, 20 plus years ago. But I'm gonna tell you that thing was a beast. I could not kill it. It did vibrate, but I solved out by putting some rubber washers in the feet,
Yeah.
and that took most of the vibration problem away immediately.
Yep.
It probably was a Harbor Freight brand. I couldn't kill it. I wound up giving it away to another woodworker who was just starting when I upgraded. So
My Craftsman vibrated some, and what I did was I had some old carpet, and I took two pieces of carpet. I mounted it on a piece of 1.5 by 10 inch by whatever the length of the saw was, 24 inch piece of pressure treated wood. I mean, heavy yellow pine that was pressure treated. And then I glued the carpet to the top of that. And then I screwed the Craftsman scroll saw to the top of that to keep the vibration. And it worked great. It took all the vibration right away from it. So
that may be why that Dremel I got never noticed any vibration with it, because I was at a friend's house and that was in his garage, and you want a scroll saw? Yeah, and I took it, and he had it built it on a 2x4 stand.
yeah.
So I mean, it's almost something solid. So
I
two
moved
things
my
out.
water cable to a desktop setup, and at first it vibrated like crazy to the point the shelves attached to the desk were vibrating and things were falling off it. So I had to rethink the layout. But I got these thick rubber washers. 99% of the vibration was gone. So
I'll tell you another thing that I saw a person use that worked real good. You know those mats that you can buy at Harbor Freight? I mean, they're all over the place that you put on the floor to stand on for your feet. In other words, you buy one of them and cut it up to the size and put 2 or 3 pieces together and then bolt it down on top of that.
Right.
That rubber springy. Before I forget real quick, for those of you who do pray and believe, I asked a favor. A good friend of mine is out there tonight in the chat, Dan Inge from Dan Inge Woodworking. Dan is not doing good. He was in the hospital. Was having problems with breathing. And not only is he having problems, but his wife she has Alzheimer's. And so while he was in the hospital, they rushed him to the hospital with his breathing problems. An ambulance pulled up with her. So she's not doing good at all either. So, like I said, for those of you who do believe and do pray, I would ask that you'd say a little prayer for Dan and his wife, because they sure could use it. I just talked to him the other day, and they're not doing very well. So my heart goes out to you, Dan. And then we've got Paul. Tell them what you just got put in real quick.
Mute mic.
Yeah, your mic's muted.
Or is it?
I knew that. I had an implantable heart monitor put in, and it monitors my heart and works on Bluetooth to my phone, and then sends the information to my doctor every night at 2:00 in the morning. And it just tells them what my heart's doing, and if I had a couple strokes, and they want to make sure it's not caused by my artificial heart valve.
Yeah. So he could use a prayer if you remember him too, because I mean, there's a lot of people out sick. A lot of people. So
took them all of 10 minutes to put it in.
Wow.
How
did they access it, Paul?
They what?
Where did they insert it? And
right there.
Okay.
They just made
they
a little
went
slit
right
and
there?
a tool that pushed it in. Yep. Just made a little incision. And then he had a tool that pushes it in, and
now the government can track you.
and then he closed the incision with super glue and strips.
Oh, just like in the shop.
I
We
use
were already
super glue and I
tracking
cut
files,
myself.
trust me.
Just like in the shop.
Yeah. Real quick,
Yeah, exactly.
Brooks, before we go any farther, Brooks Martin's out there. James Parker's out there. Aussie Man, who's always with us, is out there. Leonard is out there from Lynn's Handcrafted Wood Signs. I think I said Brooks Martin. Portal Woodworks is out there. Thank y'all all for watching. Going through. I don't
Great
want
St.
me.
Louis.
Dan Inge is out there. James Parker, I think I said his name. I don't mean to miss your name. Yeah, Rick St. Louis, I see him.
Oh
Aussie
man.
Man. I don't see Michelle Marcoux tonight.
No, I didn't see Michelle either, but Bill sent me some
De-
Australia sunset photos that are out of this world.
Yeah. Debbie's brother, Donna Presley's out there in the chat. I mean, Debbie's sister.
Yeah, Debbie's sister. I thought it was Debbie's cousin.
Oh, Debbie's cousin. Okay.
Yeah, Debbie's cousin.
It's out there in the chat.
Dixon's there.
Yep. Dixon. Yeah. He's here. He finally got his updates done.
Jeez.
Just
You gotta turn the
every
computer on, Dixon. You
Ta-da.
gotta turn
You
it
have
on.
your safety shirt on,
every
right?
time you want to use it, you got to wait 2 hours to use it. Every time, just imagine.
Yeah.
That's why you never turn it off.
As soon as I
Never
retire, Windows is out the door. I got a couple Linux machines, and they run 4 times faster with half the size chip.
Yeah.
Bloatware.
Well, on Pro Solves, my first one was a Craftsman. I went through 3 of them in 1 year.
Wow.
And when the warranty goes, I'm done. And finally it went, because they replaced it at one point and then replaced it another time. And then when that one died, I got a DeWalt. I still have my DeWalt. I also have the Excalibur. I keep the DeWalt for my grandson. Because he loves the scroll saw, but he would never be able to go. And I'm like, well, you got a DeWalt, so you're luckier than most people.
Yeah. Exactly. How do you like your Excalibur?
I love my Excalibur. I love how, because with the DeWalt, you tilt the table, and I could not keep that straight. With the Excalibur, you tilt the arm, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, your piece stays flat on the table and the blade turns sideways. So,
Yep.
yeah. So we were, and you know what? I wanted to bring up this too. A lot of people have told me that they have had a DeWalt and they were having problems with it and bought the Delta. And they say the Delta, even though they're supposed to be the exact same saw, is better than the DeWalt.
Might be so.
That's what I've got.
Yeah. Yeah. And you sit there, scratch your head, because the only thing that's different with those two saws is they made the back of the Delta kind of like more square. So it looks different than the DeWalt. Other than that, they're the same motor. They're the same inner workings. They're the same blade clamps. There's the same. I mean, you can take everything off of one and put in another and make it work. It's just the case that's different on the back end on the Delta. But I've heard a bunch of people saying that they had problems with they're doing it a lot. And what they did was their DeWalt was having a problem, so they had to order parts. And while they waited, they went and bought a Delta just to try it. And they ain't even fixed the DeWalt. They're still using the Delta. So
That's the one I've got. I love it.
yeah. So now the DeWalt, the Delta are kind of what you wouldn't want to call your mid-range scroll skulls. They're running up there in the, well, you can catch them $300 sometimes on sale, but right now they're running up in the $400 or $500 range. I bought the Delta that I had it was just a little over $300, but that was years ago. That's the one I tore apart and never put back together.
I remember that.
Yeah, I decided to tear it apart. But then once I tore it apart, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it tore apart in case my DeWalt breaks, and I'll just have the parts already there for it. So
yeah, but the fun part is you did it live. We all watched.
Yeah,
That was a fun night.
but then for your high end saws, now you're getting up into the $1,000 range.
Ooh.
And well, let's don't get to the high end first. The same one, the Excalibur. How much did you pay for your Excalibur, Donna?
I don't know. That was like 15 years ago. I don't even.
Oh, it's been.
Yeah, it was somewhere around probably $500 or so at the time.
Yeah, back in that time, they were a little bit cheaper. Let's see what they're running for now.
And of course,
wait.
Amazon has it for $664.
Excalibur.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and if you're on the same page I am, the DeWalt 20-inch is $535. So what's that?
I got a Ryobi one time at a yard sale for $40. Tried to use it one time and went, nope, sold it in a yard sale.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, looking at this at $535 and $664 for $130 more, you can have an Excalibur. I dang sure spend $130 more, because right now the Excalibur is 24% off.
But you also got to weigh it out as to how much do you use. Is that your main saw? You know?
And you're right. Let me go back over here. If you're going to use it for production, you definitely want to get a better saw.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
Yep.
I mean, I've got a porter table, and it's a trooper. Broken a couple blades because I pushed too hard, but it's not the saw's fault. That's my fault.
But you're not using it every day, are you?
No.
Yeah.
I have a 40. I have a 40-watt scroll saw.
Well, when I start making arcs, like I've got one in the store right now, the saw will get a good couple days running.
Is that at the wall?
Yeah.
Or at the tip?
Now, another one that is, while we're doing this,
look at Aussie Man's comment. He says, we're lucky over here. He had to pay $1,500 for his Excalibur because of where he lives. Ooh. Probably to ship it over there to Australia.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that costs so much over there. Man.
Yeah.
Well, Aussie, there's a solution to that. Move.
Yeah, but you don't get sunset like he sent me.
Actually,
except in Texas, that is.
We do down here, actually, you do.
See, in Texas, we get sunsets that are really nice also. He emailed me some.
All right, so let's go back to this for a few minutes. The Excalibur came along, and it was one of the better scroll saws compared to all the others. Black & Decker owns Delta and DeWalt and all those others. I think it's there's some other name, something Black & Decker now. But anyway, they bought the rights to use the internal mechanism of the way that scroll saw works. And I can't think of the name of it to save my life, but the way it works and to make the DeWalt and the Delta, with promises that they wouldn't copy the entire saw, in other words, because you notice that the Delta doesn't look like the Excalibur, neither does the DeWalt. But they did buy the patent rights to use the internal mechanisms, the way it works, to make those Delta and the DeWalt scroll saw. So that was one of the first ones that came out that was really, really, really nice. Excalibur was the leading one. Now that was the exception of the one like there was another scroll saw that they quit making, but they still make the RBI Hawk. If you want a scroll saw that's a Mac Daddy, you can buy the RBI Hawk. Yeah, that thing will you can't destroy it. It'll run for years and years. But now, let's see, what is the RBI Hawk running right now?
Never heard of that one.
RBI Hawk scroll saw?
$1 million.
Yeah, I haven't either. The Hawk.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
The Hawk scroll saws. It's made by Bush Manufacturing. Here, give me 1 second.
See what a Hegner costs now too, Russ, while you're looking.
Yeah, that's another one. I forgot about that extra camera size video. All right, how do you?
Well, it looks like they don't sell it on Amazon, so we'll have to look somewhere else.
What? Something that's
No.
sold on Amazon? Oh no.
Why, that's blasphemy.
I think Hegner, the only place you can get it is through Advanced Machinery.
Silly human
Yeah.
race.
Oh, you were talking about Pegasus too. That's supposed to be a good one, right? For $900.
Yes, I was going to mention that in just a few minutes.
Yeah, it is.
Can you see?
Okay,
Can you
here's
see my
the Hawk.
screen?
Let's see. Oh, $1,300 to $1,500 for a
Jeez.
Hawk.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
there
can
you
see
got
your
it.
screen.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's the Hawk. Yeah, that is a production saw. That's designed to run to 8-10 hours a day, all day long, every day. I mean, that's a production saw right there.
Looks like it's machined out of aluminum. That's why
It is. It is. Most of it's aluminum.
they machined it. The arm.
Did you ever look up the Hagner?
Hey,
Hawk or app?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't. Let me see if I can find it.
I'll beat you to it, Paul. Maybe. Can't type. Screw with two. Hegner scroll. Free deals and discounts at Hegner 18-inch variable speed scroll saw.
Yep. They
Yep.
got it on Amazon, by George.
$1,888.96 according to Capital One Shopping.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
2-day free shipping though.
They don't even have a price on it. You have to see buying options. Let's see what
Yeah.
all the buying options are.
Holy
Capital
cow,
One has that. at $1,800 price.
Advanced. I can
Those
order
are
it.
made in Germany.
I can order it from through Amazon from its Advanced Machinery in Germany for $1,745.
Holy shnikes.
Yeah,
Those are nice.
but now the Hagner, that's another saw that is a production machine.
Yep.
It's built. Yeah, it's made in Germany, and it's designed to run 8-10 hours a day, 7 days a week. So.
But
Those are some of your top end.
At that price point, and you're doing production of that
It
much,
makes no noise.
at some point you got to think maybe it's time to switch over to a CNC.
Yeah.
If I got to run my scroll saw that much,
Unless you're
Yeah.
making handmade stuff.
well, yes, that's my usual line. But I would look at that and say, if I have to run my scroll saw that much, that I have to go and buy a $1,700 unit, I might as well start exploring the CNC world for that stuff.
Yep.
That's the technology. Maybe it's my cheap bastardness that makes me make that technology.
Cheap bastard.
So
Give me 1 second here. Jay's wanted to know if I got the pattern of the gator. Yes, I did. And I showed him the picture of your real old skull saw, and he has never seen one like it.
really,
So he's like, yeah, he's never seen one. The RBI Hawk is just kind of ugly. Yeah, they are. But go back. Let's go back to what I was talking about, the Excalibur. So the Excalibur come along. It was kind of like the top of the line scroll saw that was it was more than the Delta. It cost more than the Delta and the DeWalt at the time, but it was still one of the top of the line scroll saws. But like Donna said, Excalibur was the first one that came out with the actual head that would move left and right and the table stay straight. That's why everybody liked the Excalibur so much. The actual motor and everything moves, and your piece stays flat on the table. Excalibur, and that's another design that DeWalt, actually is Black & Decker, promised Excalibur that they would not do on theirs, so they made the table tilt so it wouldn't exactly be like the Excalibur. But then along came Seiko. He got permission to sell the Excalibur in the United States and fix them and everything. And then he sold them for years and years and years. He was the main salesperson for Excalibur for years. And all of a sudden, Excalibur decided they didn't want to make scroll saws anymore, and they quit. Well, I think it's Richard at Seiko. I'm almost positive his name is Richard. But anyway, Richard Seymour, I believe his name is. He got permission from Excalibur, the people that own the patent, to use their design to design his own Seiko scroll saw. And it's not exactly like the Excalibur, and it has the tilting head and some other features like that. So he actually started making the Seiko scroll saw and selling it again. And he's done very well selling them. And they are a very, very, very good saw. I have one. And I love the Seiko. It's a great saw, a really good saw. So it's a little pricey, but you're getting
I'm out of here, Russ.
a quality machine. Huh? Okay. See ya. Have fun.
Okay, see ya.
See ya.
Keep ticking.
They hold up very well. One of the main things I love about this, I mean, it cuts great, no vibration, everything on it. It works great. The head tilts just like the Excalibur and everything. But one of the things that I like that they did different is it's got a magnetic top to it that sits on top of the metal plate that protects the metal plate. And it actually has marks on it for numbers and size, so you can see the sizes of the wood or whatever. But anyway, to make a long story short, what's nice about that is if you wear out the magnetic plate, they're not expensive. It's only $26 to replace it. So you just call them and order another magnetic plate and stick it on. It's not solid now. It's a stiff, but it's not a solid magnetic piece. It's like a stiff rubber with a magnetic base on it that holds it in place. So, but that's one of the things they did with the Seiko. So I highly recommend the Seiko. Somebody said something about the Pegasus. Pegasus is sold by Bearwood Supply. Now the Pegasus is a Excalibur clone. I don't care what they say. It's an Excalibur clone. Now, I'm not saying that maybe they had somebody machine it or tool it a little to more precision to be better than the Excalibur. Totally possible, but it's basically the Excalibur clone. That's all it is. And they call it the Pegasus. And then lo and behold, Pegasus came out with, I don't know if y'all have heard about this or not, but a scroll saw bandsaw. Really? It is actually it's a scroll saw bandsaw. It uses a blade the size of a scroll saw, but it's a loop blade. So you can't use it like a scroll saw where you drill a hole and stick the blade through, but you can use it to scroll very tight corners. You just can't use it to make holes. Like if you wanted to make your ducks, Chris, or your gators, it would be perfect for that because you're not drilling a hole in it.
I'm doing these on bandsaw, and then a hell of a lot of sanding in the tight spots.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have to do it if you got one of those. But let's go to Bearwood Supply. Yeah, hold on. Let's go to Bearwood Supply again.
Chris, what size wheels do you have on that thing?
1.5
inches. 1.5 inches? Okay.
I think
did you make those or did you buy those, Chris?
What's that?
Did you make those or buy those?
I made the wheels.
Yes,
I bought the wheels. My first batch, I made all my wheels, and it was days of work that I wasn't going to get that time back.
Yeah.
And then I was on Amazon. I saw, I can get 100 of them for short money. So with axles.
Yeah, it's best to just buy them.
So
matter of fact, I tried making them for this push toy, and I tried making them for a push toy, and I was rounding over all the parts, and my router just destroyed those wheels. So I'll never make wheels again.
On my
I made a set
of good.
I made a set of wheels for that car that I made from Toy Story, the remote control car, with my CNC. Now the only reason I did it with a CNC is because I wanted to make them thick, and then I wanted, you know how a normal thick like mag is got a hole in the center for the lug nut. You know what I'm saying? It's rounded. It worked out perfect. CNC cut all that and everything. And then what I did was I sandwiched it on the lathe and took my parting tool and cut the grooves for the wheels. So that it looked really, I've got it out there. RC is his name. RC. That's the name of the car.
On my bendy snakes, I like the 2-inch wheel. So I feel, well, I only need a half dozen, maybe a dozen. I'll make those myself. So I cut them out 2 inches, use the compass. So I have the dot in the center for where the axle is going to go. Go to the router table after cutting them out to round them over. And the router just grabbed one out of my hand and shot it out the front door of the garage, down the street.
Oh my God.
Gotta be careful with those routers. It caught a knot and it was gone. So
okay, Chris. If you decide you want to try that Pegasus scroll saw bandsaw, it'll only set you back $1,600.
Oh, all right. I got that in a change jar over here.
Chump change.
Yeah. Yeah, they're $1,600. Go over to Bearwood Supply. They got some videos of it being used, and I mean, it's kind of impressive because, like I said, for doing stuff like you're doing, it's perfect.
I'm using the smallest blade I can get onto my bandsaw, and finally, by the way, my bandsaw is tracking straight again. I kind of abandoned it for the longest period because I couldn't get it to track straight. One day I broke it all down, put new tires on, put a new blade on, reset everything. Hey, it tracks straight again. So
yeah. Yeah.
I think I'd die without my bandsaw because I'm too lazy to clean my table saw off.
It's funny how your table saw becomes the centerpiece. Everything sits on it.
All horizontal surfaces get stuff on them.
Yeah, Brian Woodward said wheels are pretty easy to batch out on the lathe. Yes, they are.
Yes.
They are, but you still can buy them cheaper if in bulk.
Yeah.
They're easy to bag out of Amazon too.
Yeah.
Yep. Matter of fact, the last time I
batch or bag, which one do I want to do?
The next day they were there. So
the only reason I did those wheels on the CNC because it was specific. I needed a specific look, and they didn't have them any other place else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So. James Parker said a good thing. Real quick, he uses his hole saw to make wheels. I've heard of people doing that too.
I've done that too. Yep.
36. So only 36 pack for $14. Oh my God. With the axle, that's hard to beat.
I get
hard to make them.
With the axles,
and it's not that much more expensive.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a hole saw is a good idea. The only bad thing about a hole saw is that takes a lot of sanding because that hole saw don't cut really nice smooth
And
wheels.
sometimes
What I did was I lined them up on a threaded rod and stuck the dowel in a drill and went over by the belt sander, and then you zip them all nice in one shot, smooth.
That's a good idea.
I
That's
put
what I
them on
did.
the
That's a good
lathe.
idea.
Yeah.
Four at a clip. I would take with a threaded rod and zip them down.
Now,
And they're all the
Smarter,
same.
not harder.
I think for the price you're paying for the wheels and versus the time you put in making them, it's just cheaper to buy them.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, you can't make them as cheap as you can buy them. Because you're
It's
not
the
only
same-
looking at the wood, you're looking at all the time you're taking to sand and do this and do that.
Oh,
yeah,
It's the same when you do a coin rack of a flag. And the first one I ever made, I cut every star out myself. And I actually cut 60 because I figured I'm going to screw up at least 10. So that I was there at the scroll saw for 2 days cutting stars. Now I can go online and his Amish guy in Pennsylvania who sells them on Amazon already pre-cut. So, and if you look at them, you know he's using either a laser cutter or a CNC because you see little burn marks around the edges. So,
Yep.
I mean, I can understand. Like, I'm going to make some toys for my grandbaby, and I'll probably go ahead and do the wheels myself. That way, Grandpa did this for you.
absolutely, yeah. I mean, you're doing 1, 2, 3. You're not doing
Right.
10. I got right here. So, and I'm trying to sell mine. So yours, I think those are great gifts when they're handmade by a family member.
Okie dokie. Well,
Hey,
I hope we gave you some insight out there on scroll saws. I mean, they run anywhere from I think the one at Harbor Freight today was 169 or 189. If I'm not mistaken.
To 10 times
they'll
that?
run all the way. Huh?
To 10 times that. 169 to 10 times that.
Yeah.
For the
To 10 times that, exactly. So yeah, they run anywhere. And like I said, if you're really interested in trying, and can't spend the 4 or 5. That's another thing. Let me type in that too. What is
While
Hey,
you're doing
Dremel
that, another
scroll
quick
saw,
way to
but-
make donuts, to make
Oh,
wheels is
donuts.
take the donuts and dip them in epoxy, and then you're set.
There you go.
Okay.
is that? Yeah.
So let's go back real quick. So if you're looking at getting into it, please do not buy the Harbor Freight. I just looked up the Dremel scroll saw is $190.
You recommend the Dremel?
$190. Yeah, the Dremel scroll saw is $190 at Lowe's, and you can find it a few other places, and you can find it on sale. I've seen it on sale for $169 at Lowe's.
Mhm.
That is the one that I would recommend you try first. That's the one that Steve Good did a test on. I trust my friend Steve Good. He's been in it long enough to know what he's talking about, and he said for the price, you could not beat that saw. And so if I was going to start off scrolling, or even you have a child that wants to start scrolling, you don't want them to use your Excalibur or your Pegasus that cost $1,500. That would be a scroll saw that you could buy and let them try. But yeah, start off with the Dremel. But the DeWalt and the Delta will work perfect for you. Their biggest problem is they do not put enough grease on them from factory. So the bearings fail if you use it a lot. And I'm not talking about using it 2 or 3 times a week or whatever. If you go out there and you scroll pretty well all day long, you're going to have some bearing failure. So you're better off right off the bat taking that thing apart or sending it to my friend up in Atlanta with the Gwyneth Woodworking and let him go through it and grease it up real good for you. Because you will have bearing failure, trust me. They just don't put enough grease on those bearings, and they
You got any
fail.
opinions about the Porter cable?
The Porter cable, that's another one that Steve Good said was very good. Yes,
Yeah, I think
it and the Dremel.
Its only flaw that I've had is the light housing.
Yeah,
the bulb heated up too much; it melted the ring that holds the housing in place.
right.
And I've reached out to them half dozen times; they don't answer.
Yeah.
So,
No, that was another one, and I'm glad you brought that up, Chris, because I forgot about that. The Dremel and the Porter cable were the two that of the cheaper ones that were the best.
the saw works great. It's just that stupid light. Just yes. So I took the housing off. I put a lower wattage Christmas bulb in there. So
yeah, like Dixon said, put a LED.
Yeah, they have small LEDs.
Yeah, the C5 is working fine. So
okay,
but it's just the housing is already belted, so it's a done deal on that. So
yeah. All right, guys. So I hope we gave you some on-site to try. Like I said, I got the Seiko. I love my Seiko. I think it wasn't Richard. I was wrong. It's Ray Seymour. It just dawned on me his name is Ray. But Ray Seymour, I got it from him, and I've enjoyed it ever since. I need to get back on it, and I need to get out there and do some woodworking. Right now, I got to clean my shop because all the tools that I was using out there to work on the camper are in the shop, and they didn't get put back in place. Yeah. So they got to go be put back in the drawers and places. So
I don't know. I'm of the opinion you want to put it where you're going to use it. In a drawer. I'm not going to think about it. So clutter is kind of my friend. So
yeah. No, I don't normally like clutter, but my shop is very cluttered right now. And the biggest problem I'm having is I got some couple of full sheets of plywood, and I'm sitting there scratching my head trying to figure out where the heck I'm going to put them.
Make something out of it.
I'll be happy to take them off your hands.
Yeah, make something out of it.
Yeah, one's a piece of 1/4-inch Baltic birch, like 6 ply or 8 ply or whatever. And the other piece is a 4x8 sheet of 3/4-inch sanded plywood.
And weighs a ton.
Yes, it weighs a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have one of those gorilla lifts that I use to lift it, and it's all I can do to move it. It's so heavy.
Izzy Swan comes over to my garage and moves my stuff around with the little deal that he's got.
Oh, I've got one of those things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I don't like it as good as I like the gorilla gripper. Yeah, because you can get it. For me, I can get it at the top of the plywood, and I'm short enough that it's about right here. So I can just kind of like stand up, and it lifts it about that far off the. Yeah, it lifts it about that far off the concrete, and I can walk with it.
That's why I usually have my plywood cut down to size when I buy it. So.
Yeah. Well, I needed the 4x8 sheets.
Oh yeah.
I used the 4x8 sheets. I think I only cut one 4x8 sheet to get into the floor. The rest of them are all solid pieces.
The biggest piece I got out there right now is a 4x4. It's just your basic construction plywood, but it came off a pallet, heavy equipment pallet, and I saw that. So I can't leave that behind. I get it.
Right.
I don't know what I need it for, but I'm going to need it.
Upcycle. Yeah, upcycle.
So.
All right. We're going to cut out of here. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. I hope we gave you some information that you could use. Russ, your glasses are where your tools were. Yes, I talked about I lost my glasses. I've laid them down somewhere, probably in that big disaster area with all the tools, and that's what I told my wife. I'm going to have to clean the shop probably to find my glasses. But yeah, I had to leave them laying down somewhere. But anyway, all right. Thank you all for watching. Listen, if you're too darn busy to get out in your shop and make some sawdust, you're just too darn busy.
Sounds like
just
Russ.
give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching, and God bless.
Remember, you don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here.
What he said.
Oh,
What
you gotta
he
leave.
said.
You know,
And Bella even says
or
that too.
Get the heck out.
Bella
See you
says